2018 was interesting. Not only did I see more movies than last year with my new record of 13 films, I found that most of the movies I watched were either Marvel, Disney, or sequels. Only 3 of the movies I saw this year were based on either real life or pop culture. Also, as some of you know, 2018 brought some changes to the format of my reviews, going from the original vlog style in 2017 with the MLP movie to using the Stardust app with Infinity War to Solo, and to the current format I'm using now starting with Incredibles 2. So as some of the contenders, I'll try to explain a little bit better on what I liked or did not. With that said and done, let's go for it. Number 10. Venom. Not the best Marvel movie or the best adaptation of a popular comic book character, but I did have fun, and it did have its moments I was laughing pretty hard at. Tom Hardy was a good Eddie Brock, but the villain could have used some work. Overall, it was close to not making the cut, and I'll explain later. Number 9. Christopher Robin. People have said that it's a lot similar to Hook, in that it features a guy who grew up and forgot his childhood and puts more focus on his work than his own kids. Well, true, and I can't really say which one is better because I only saw clips of Hook. Anyways, I love Ewan McGregor as the titular character, and bringing Jim Cummings back as most of the 100 Acre Wood is always a welcome, as well as a really amazing cameo from Richard Sherman. But there's the downside of why it's in this position, is that there are fewer colors. I know it's supposed to show how gray his life has gotten, but at least make it a little bit brighter, although the ending makes up for that. Number 8. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not surprised considering this came out after the so-called most ambitious crossover, but we're getting to that. It serves as mostly filler, yet it still furthers the plot of the MCU after Civil War. Overall, it got the point across, not worth watching again for me. Number 7. Mary Poppins Returns. Good songs, good visuals, and everything else, meh. The anime sequence didn't feel like they were interacting with the actors, the kids were annoying, Jack was just a throwaway bird to me, and Emily Blunt as Mary was decent at best. Not much to say, but stick to the original. You'll have a much more jolly holiday with that. Number 6. Black Panther. What? Not even in the top 5? Look, I liked the movie. It's awesome. It's been nominated for Best Picture, and I'm proud. It's the best standalone Marvel movie of last year that's not solely focused on the Avengers. The effects were good, the characters and the villain were amazing, but I honestly found better movies than this. I'm sorry, but it's just a good movie, but just not the greatest. Number 5. Avengers Infinity War. So much went into this, from all the teams like the Guardians, standalones like Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Black Panther, and a great villain Thanos. I find this the best Avengers movie, and the stakes have never been higher for this most ambitious crossover. Josh Brolin as Thanos is an amazing casting choice. He delivers the best monologue, you understand his reasons to wipe out half the universe, and you see how much he really loves Gamora. The movie overall did put a smile on my face. But for now, let the end game begin. Number 4. Bohemian Rhapsody. After watching this, I did find out more about the other members and how there are historical liberties taken to make this movie a compelling story. And I think it's a pretty decent adaptation of the band and Freddie Mercury, played by the spot-on Rami Malek. I haven't felt this close to Queen's music in a long time. Always hearing the titular song on the radio and many other popular hits, I found a whole new love for this movie and their music, and is now one of my all-time favorite bands. This movie is a must-watch for Queen fans, and I'll come back to this again many times in the future. Number 3. Deadpool 2. I have not just found a sequel that was just as funny as the first, but pretty much on par with it. I loved this movie and how it parodies much of the superhero genre, especially with the big team-ups. And it has so much more referential humor towards Ryan Reynolds, the X-Men, and having Thanos as Cable. Although what surprised me was the emotional moments. I did not think Deadpool could do an emotional side plot, but they made it work. It's just as flawless and the same amount of maximum effort. Number 2. Incredibles 2 and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. How could I not put one or the other on this list when they were both so good? A sequel we've been waiting too long for against a movie that defied expectations and redeemed Sony animation. They were funny, action-packed, emotional, and the best of animation for 2018. Although the villain for Incredibles 2 still could have used some work, and I wanted more with Uncle Aaron in Spider-Verse. Overall, superior animated films of last year. And now, some honorable mentions. Solo. Felt like there were a few missed opportunities with the story, and I felt like the actor who played Han was just okay. I felt like they could have pitched down his voice to sound closer to Harrison Ford, but that's just me. But we did see the council run in 12 parsecs. That was cool. Ralph Breaks the Internet. I'm not a fan of the first movie. I'm just considering it okay. The sequel was the same. I loved a lot of the jokes and referential humor, but the predictable story left something out of it for me. The princess's scene and Vanellope's song, this song called Slaughter Race, was hilarious. To be honest, I found more enjoyment with Venom. As Disney sequels go, it was a stop. Let's hope Frozen 2 gets something out of it for me. And my favorite film of 2018 is Ready Player One. Kinda fitting, isn't it? I am a huge fan of pop culture, and this movie is chock full of some of the most iconic pieces of video games, movies, TV, and music, and just about anyone can point to this movie and say, yes, they referenced that! And it's directed by Steven Spielberg, which the book the movie's based on references a lot of his work, so it's even more fitting. I loved pretty much everything, to the effects, the characters, and the important message that not everything in a game can make you happy, and to show that the person in the game may not be the same in real life. Take what you have now and make it count. And those were my top 10 favorite films of 2018. For 2019, expect to see a lot of Disney remakes, more Marvel, one movie that's based on another popular musician, and TV shows. This is Sudoku Brian saying toward 2019, hold my beer.